Welcome back to the channel. My name is Adam Smith, and inside this featured product video, I'm excited to be checking out an awesome storage solution to condense down a pledge, an all-in pledge for Cyberpunk 2077 Gangs of Night City, the board game. Now, if you're interested in seeing this thing in action, I've got a showcase for you on the channel. I'll put a link to that in the top right-hand corner, but the important thing to note is I found myself a storage solution which gets all of the boxes that came as part of the pledge down to just inside this box by itself. And this one comes from Tinkering Paws. If you're interested in the insert as I go through the video and you want a discount on it, I've got a 15% total discount. You can get a 10% coupon as well as a 5% coupon. The 5% coupon is always available as a thank you to the community, but the 10% is limited to June 26th. So if you want to get the combined total of 15% off, make sure you check it out before that expires. And as always here on the channel, the purpose of the video is to help you make an informed decision as to whether or not this is for you. We're going to go ahead and take the box lid off right now and go through exactly how this thing is all organized inside this exclusive edition box. The first thing you'll run into once you've condensed all the boxes down to just this single box is the rulebook sitting on top, as well as a number of other cardboard pieces for the game. With the rulebook out of the way, you'll see a number of other cardboard pieces and dashboards which are lined in an L formation around this side of the box. So as we go along, I'll take things away piece by piece to give an idea as to how everything is organized in here. And as more of the pieces come out of the box, you begin to see the depths of this organizer and just how awesomely organized all the miniatures, all the cards, and everything for the game truly is. As you can see, things look pretty awesome, and it's also worth mentioning when purchasing an insert, you get the choice of which color you want to pick for a specific game. So in this case, I chose this translucent yellow type color, which really suits the Cyberpunk theme and the box it's already inside of. And as most of you know, theme and immersion is a big deal to me, even when it comes to inserts. And so that's another reason why I selected this color for this particular game. Now, I'm going to go ahead and begin to start taking the trays out of this box. So yes, not only do these trays keep everything organized, but you can actually take things out as you need them while you're setting up. And it keeps things all into separate containers, which is another great facet of the organizer, is not just getting it all stored away, but it is going to speed up your setup times, your organization during those time frames, and also the teardown is going to be a lot easier. Now I've gone ahead and removed two of the gangs out of this box to give you an idea that each of these gangs have a specific tray built for them. And it's not just the structure of the tray that's unique. Of course, these particular inserts that are made by Tinkering Paws are always engineered in a way to get everything inside the box, but not just that, but also to customize per the different miniature types. Because as you can see, some of them are generic. You'll have different shape types on the bottom of these ones, for instance, that follow the same thing over here. But when it talks about different miniatures that go along with these gangs, there's differences in the sizing, which means there needs to be some extra effort put into making trays that specifically work for that miniature. So once you start playing the game and you take all of these out of the tray, let's say you take all these out and all those out over there, you may not remember which miniature goes in which tray. Well, this is where those kind of icing on the cake features of this insert come into play. They've gone ahead and labeled things out right here on the actual gang tray itself, saying 6th Street across the bottom here. Might be a little tough to see. I'll go ahead and place some dark space underneath it, but you can see it right there, very clear. And then even cooler, on the bottom here, they even have a reference based on the shape of the miniature that should be in the corresponding column in the track, referenced right there. So even if you're not sure which miniature should go in which tray, you know the gang and the type of miniature going into the trays for this, making this whole process a heck of a lot easier to set up and tear down. As more of the gang trays come out of the box, you're going to start to see other trays below that, which are going to have things sorted in a way to get you going with gameplay that much faster. And again, the way in which these Tinkering Paws inserts are created, everything is categorized. So you have all the net runners here in these tracks across both sides of this thing, really showing off how you can get everything in one spot. And of course, once you need to find a net runner, well, you've got one tray that's got all of them ready to go. And you'll see with this particular insert, there's even additional track room to reorganize things how you wish. So you might be able to come through here and say, well, I've got a bunch of Netrunners here. I kind of want to organize them in a way that makes sense for me to find them easier. So maybe you'll place the ones that are a bit more bulky in one section, some that are maybe shorter versus taller. You can kind of organize them between the two trays that they give you here in order to find something that works best for you to get the right miniature at that right moment during gameplay. So as you continue through the insert, moving a tray away, which houses a number of other specific miniatures that are going to be used during gameplay, you'll find more categorized miniatures in separate trays down below. Again, everything engineered to be sat right on top quite nicely and perfect fits all the way around. Now, as we get towards the bottom of the box, you can start to see the game board itself, which is safely tucked away at the very bottom of all this, and everything just resting nicely on top of it, which is another nice benefit because it makes sure your game board is not going to be warped or bent because it's going to have all these things perfectly squared up on top of it, keeping it nice, tucked away, and safe. Now, we've also got some additional miniatures in here in a customized section, which again, like everything just breaks away. You just pick it up, pull it out, and use it, put it away when you don't want it kind of thing. It is so nice and very satisfying to fill up, especially when you have where you're coming from, 6, 7, 8 boxes from a Kickstarter campaign down to a single box to bring to somebody's place to be able to play or to play solo. This is really handy. So as we strip away some of these miniatures, you start getting into the specific gang trays, which have all of the bases and the specific gang tokens that you need to have from the very beginning of the game, all in these handy little trays. So whoever's using whichever particular gang, you just pull that out, give it to them, and you're ready to go. Everything's already pre-organized that way. Instead of having Ziploc bags all over the place, you got these handy trays to just dole out. Next up, we got the card decks, and of course you can simply just grab them and lift them right out. You'll see more tokens down below. These ones are going to be the ones that are going to be used during gameplay. They're going to pull these things out. You got dice in there as well, so you can take this tray off to the side because you'll be using this in every single time you play the game. But on top of this thing, you'll also see the stories cards and a number of other things all organized. I don't have everything absolutely broken out perfectly just yet because I have a couple of things that I like to keep inside of the individual packages per the different expansions that were all individually packaged, so I can kind of run through them one at a time. But I've gone ahead and sorted all of the standard size cards perfectly per the different dividers with a couple extras at the back here for some things that I will open up later on and some things that I still need to get through. But the major cards from the base box all through the center here of this tray. There's not a ton of cards with this one, but it's still nice to have everything organized to know exactly what you need when you need it, like starting combat cards. You got them right here versus the regular combat cards right there versus the Edgerunners ready to go. Or you have the actual opportunities cards. Like everything is where it needs to be to make setup faster. Now at this point, you guys have seen the insert all the way to the bottom of the box, so I'm not going to go ahead and take out the game board underneath because there's nothing underneath that to show you. So you've seen every single tray in here, and I want to show you the trays up close. You can actually see the printing on it. You can see scavengers written across here. We also have the different iconography across the bottom to let you know which ones should be in which columns, and this is across all of the trays. So when you've got all these different boxes, you're trying to figure out what goes where, you can just use the insert itself to help you find where things should go, but they also have an instructional video on their site and also a PDF to help you get everything where it should be. And as I mentioned earlier, each of these trays are specific to what's inside of them, to the point where even tokens that actually go along with specific miniatures have a spot to rest. Now here's a look at the Netrunner tray, which has a lot going on, but the thing I want to focus on to show you in terms of how they're minimizing space is they've got this lower track, upper track, lower track, upper track. They kind of alternate throughout to get as many miniatures into a tight space as possible, but you might think these miniatures are jammed in here and can't get out. They are extremely easy to slide out of their slots. It's really just a matter of getting their feet in the right position to slide in, but there's movement in there, but not enough to have them flying around. Putting all the trays inside this box when you have everything housed is a very satisfying feeling, and something else I appreciate is all of the bracing that's done on the high points of the insert to ensure that the box cover is not going to sag in whatsoever, and also leaving depth. You can see they've left depth in this area here on purpose for all of the pieces that will fit in there. And so as everything starts to go back inside the box, everything levels off completely even, and the rulebook is the final thing that sits in there right dead center in the middle. So when the box lid goes on, everything rests perfectly on top. And that, my friends, wraps up the featured product video for the Tinkering Paws insert to house the entirety of an all-in pledge from Cyberpunk 2077 Gangs of Night City. If you're interested, based on this video, in picking it up, I've got a coupon code for you in the pinned comment video description. It's worth noting there are 2 coupon codes, and both of them can be stacked to get 15% off of this specific insert. One of the coupons is time-specific. It's the 10% off one. It is going to expire on June 26th, so make your decision quickly on that one. The other 5% will always be around for any insert that they have. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments down below if this is of interest to you. I'd love to hear your feedback on what you think of this insert. I'm a huge fan, and I'm really happy to see this game condensed down to a single box. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, keep on rolling solo.